This is the final assignment. In the 1950s, the U.S. Air Force realized that they needed a way to be able to interpret the information that the radar operators were receiving and push it down to their ground forces. So, after a lot of trial and error, they created SAGE, the first 3D program ever. And then, building on that technology, the 1960s boomed through the advances of Ivan Sutherland, who in 1963 created Sketchpad, the very first 3D design software. And he expanded on that and really learned to master it over the next 5 years. And in 1968, partnered with another creator and created Evans and Sutherland, the first 3D graphics company in the world. Now, 3D graphics had been being used since the 1950s and had actually been part of the 11-year design process for the Sydney Opera House. It was used to do a proof of concept on the shell designs that are the most prominent feature of that architecture. That began in 1965 and was finalized in 1973 when the Sydney Opera House was officially opened by the Queen, giving not only proof of concept to that shell design, but also firmly cementing CAD as an industry standard. The 1980s led right into the video game era. In fact, in 1980, Atari released Battleground, which was the world's first CAD-based video game. It used the same computer-aided drafting principles to create a realistic tank combat game. So realistic, in fact, that there was actually a top secret version of it called Bradley Fighter that was used by the US Army to train their Bradley combat vehicle crews on how to engage enemies. 33 years worth of CAD development led us to Charles Hall, who is the father of 3D printing, a technology that could not exist without digital design. There are a plethora of design softwares: Autodesk Inventor, SolidWorks, MicroStation, Cadia, Creo, all of which have strengths and weaknesses. Some are Mac compatible, but not Windows. Some have a steep learning curve. Some offer student licenses. They also vary greatly in their price points, ranging from $260 a month or $5,630 for 3 years, up to a one-time purchase of $11,200 for Cadia. Hand in hand with computer design goes CNC, computer numerical control. It's the automated operation of a machine by a computer program, and it was invented by John T. Parsons way back in the 40s. Then, though, it was only NC, numerical control, and everything was mechanical. Milling machines, lathes, routers, welders, grinders, laser water jet cutters, all of these are CNC compatible, and they are all industry leading technology for manufacturing. CNC is also capable of two-dimensional flat projects, such as cutting a design out of a sheet of steel, 2.5 dimensions, which is actual CNC carving, and 3D, which is the full sculpting of an object. Because of the versatility of 3D design in CAD, there are a plethora of industries that we can go into, everything from video game design, which is considerably more advanced than Battleground, to architecture, which is one of the mainstays of CAD, into digital animation, film, and of course, manufacturing and production. And according to Indeed, the average salary for a 3D designer in the US is right around $4,000 a month. So I had a problem. My wife knits, and I have a house full of yarn and a house full of gadgets that are supposed to help her knit. The problem is none of them do a great job. None of them are really convenient. So I decided to remedy this, and I wanted to design one tool that could replace them all. And as you can see, I am by no stretch of the imagination a conventional artist. I can't even draw a straight line. But going through several designs and using the principles that I learned in this course, I was able to design this. We'll go to a wireframe so that you can see the internal workings. The drive gear, which is turned by the hand crank, interacts with that bottom drive and spindle, which rotates the tool head at the top and also rotates the coil in the middle, which actuates the lifter arm and ensures that everything is spooling correctly. They utilize a quarter-inch drive, just like a socket wrench, to connect to the drive gears. This will allow me to design specific tools to meet whatever needs my wife has. Here's a close-up of that drive shank that the tools interact with. And that is the coil that actuates the lifter. The lifter, as you can see, has multiple angles on it to ensure that it is going up and down at just the right angle to make the spooling work. And I got these angles off of several of the gadgets that my wife has around the house. So I learned that CAD and digital design go a lot farther than I thought they did. I had really thought that they were simply architectural and manufacturing tools. In actuality, 3D design and CAD have their hands in just about every manufacturing industry you can think of. I will be able to put these skills and build on these skills to design products and inventions and ideas that I have as a means to provide for my family. But additionally, and perhaps more importantly, my long term goal for this is to start a nonprofit organization that would provide training, software, and printers to occupational therapy centers free of charge that would allow them to create specific items tailor fit to the children that they serve without having to rely on a print on demand facility or wait for a backlog. Thank you.